So this is the second practice test that I'll be going over. I apologize for being late, but I'll just do this really quickly, so hopefully it shouldn't take too long. So question one, I college surveyed 1,200 students about which degree they study. So we have 18% study engineering, 22 studying arts, and 15 studying sciences. So over here, Part A, how many students study engineering? So you just do 18% of 1,200, and you just convert this 18% to 18 over 100 times 1,200. Type that in your calculator, and you will get an answer. So let's just do that real quick. 18. 216. So 216 students study engineering. Okay, just put like a little sentence on the end. How many students study sciences? So sciences is 15%. 15 over 100 times 1,200. Type that on your calculator. Oh, 180. So 180 students study sciences. Now, if I say how many students do not study engineering, arts, and sciences, okay? So it's pretty easy. What you can do, you can find out how many students there are in arts first, and then add up your answers with part A and B. After that, you subtract from 1,200, or you can just get the percentages, okay? Add up all the percentages that you know. So you have 18 plus 22 plus 15. That equals to 55. And then you can just do 100 minus 55, which gives you 45%. Now you can just do 45% of 1,200. And if you type that in your calculator, what you get is 45. 540 students. So 540 students don't study engineering, arts, or sciences. Okay. Just like that. Pretty easy. All right. Question two, an iPhone 16 Pro Max costs $2,149 and is discounted by 25%. How much is the discount? So it's pretty easy. You can just figure it out. What's 25% of 2,149? If you just type that in your calculator, just the double arrow button, $537. And what was it again? 25 cents. So that is the discount right there. Now, what's the sale price? It's pretty straightforward. Just deduct your answer from part A to the price of the phone. So 2,149 minus 537.25. Just type that in your calculator. 1,611 and 75 cents. Okay. Now, bakery sells 14% of its cake as gluten free. If 28 gluten free cakes were sold on a day, estimate how many total cakes were sold that day. Now, this is, there's many ways to go around it, but the best method that I would recommend is using the unitary method, which is what I most recently taught you. Okay. So it says here 14% is 28 cakes. Now, I want you to find what the total amount of cakes. So that technically means 100%. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this by 14 to give me 1%. I want to find out how many cakes is equivalent to 1%. So if I divide this by 14, I'll get 2 cakes. Now, because I'm looking for the total amount of cakes sold, I can just do 2 times 100, which equals to 200 cakes total. Okay, just like that. A jacket was originally $240, but is now on sale for $168. What was the amount discounted? Pretty easy. Just subtract the 240 minus 168. If you can't be bothered figuring it out, just type it on your calculator. $72. By what percentage has the price been reduced to the nearest percent? Okay, so just be careful with the wording. Nearest percent means whole number. Okay, so you need to do some rounding. So because we know this, let's see here. By what percentage has the price been reduced? So you're going to have to use your percentage change formula or your percentage loss formula in this case. So what you can do is you can, because part A indicates how much money we lost from selling. So that's technically $72. And if we use our percentage loss formula, it's loss over original value times 100%. So now you're just going to replace what you know into where they are. So we know that the loss is $72 and the original value is $240. We multiply that by 100%. Now, if you just type everything inside your calculator, so 72 over 240 times 100, that will give me 30% exact. Okay, it's like that. Now, in Washington, D.C., the sales tax, oh, it should be taxa is 6.5%. In Monaco, there's no sales tax. How much would a $150 pair of sneakers cost in? So part A is Washington, part B is Monaco. So this is pretty easy. Let's just do part B first. It says here there's no sales tax. So there's no tax whatsoever. So the cost of the shoe is just going to be $150, right? Now, for this one, for Washington, D.C. here, we need to find out what 6.5% of $150 is. So it'd be best to write it out. So we always write the number over out of 100. And if you just type this in your calculator, you'll get something nice, okay? 6.5 9.75. I mean, 6.5% is $9.75. Now, this is $150 is the price before the tax. So now we need to find the price post tax. So that will be total is equal to $150 plus 9.75, which equals to 159.75. Okay. Now let's just go here. Mia buys a rare comic book for $45. If she sells it for $74, what is her profit? Pretty easy. Profit is just selling price minus cost price. But if you remember in my revision notes, you just go higher number versus lower number, which in this case is 74 minus 45, which equals to $29. And then after that, it's up to you to determine whether, like, they made a profit or loss. But in this case, because the question's asking for profit, that's what you put in. Okay. What is her percentage profit? So you need to use percentage profit formula. Always start out by writing the formula because it makes your life a lot easier. So we know the profit is $29. The original value was 45. And if we multiply that by 100%, you type it in your funny calculator. 64.44. Oops. Because it's asking for the nearest percent, we want the nearest whole number. So you want to look at this digit right here. So because that digit is between 0 and 4, we're going to round down. So that means this digit here, underlined in purple, will stay the same. So your final answer is just going to be 64%. Okay. Now, part C says if she sells it for $36 instead, what is her percentage loss? Just round to two decimal places if there is any. So, percentage loss works with loss over original value times 100%. The loss in this case, because she bought it for $45, so we need to figure out what the loss is. $9. 9 over 45 times 100%. And if you type that in your calculator, you'll get something like 20%. Okay. It's technically 20% on the dot, but because the question's asking for round to two decimal places, we just got to write it as two decimal places like that. So just follow what the question asks, even if like answer like doesn't make sense, just answer it towards the question, okay? And then finally, a store wants to make 120% profit on the board game bought while they bought it for $50. How much profit is 120% of $50? So just follow what I've underlined here, 120% of $50. So another way of writing 120% is 120 over 100 times 50. And if you type this exactly into your calculator, you'll get something like $60. Okay? That's the profit right there. So what's the final selling price? It's pretty straightforward. You just go your original value plus your profit in this case of $60, and that will equal $110 right there. Now, question 8, a Nintendo Switch 2 is on sale for $399 after a 30% discount. What was the original price before the discount? Okay. So you can use any method to figure this out, but I'll just use the unitary method right here. So $399 is the price after the discount. So what you're going to do, and because it's been discounted by 30%, this $399 is technically 70% of the original value. So what you're going to do is 70% to $399. Now, using the unitary method, I'm going to find what 1% is. So I need to divide both of these by 70 here. So 1%. And then if you just go on your calculator, what's 399 divided by 70? 5.7 in this case, okay? 5.7. Now, because we want to find the original price before the discount, we can just do 5.7 times 100, which gives us $570. So the price of the Nintendo Switch 2 um, for its original price is $570. I hope this has been helpful. Good luck. I'll see you all next week, okay?